Yes, yes, you are. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. And we are back. A day's hiatus, trip down to the butcher processing plant to drop off some sheep. Right back at it again. Right back at it again. Look, if you want to be part of the program today, the number is going to be 601-879-0002. And the text line is open. It was awesome getting text yesterday. The text line is 601-879-5060. We're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on that social media platform that begins with a F, but we don't like saying the name. And we're streaming at the mothership, WYAB.com. Grateful and grateful. And we are here. It's Wednesday, the 30th of July, 2025. And we're here to equip the saints. The saints, well, that's all of you. Look, before we really get into the show, I want to say a really big thank you to Mr. Chris Hinkle for filling in for the show yesterday. Phenomenal job. And I'm really grateful and thankful for your friendship, brother. Grateful that you could do that. And we'll be talking soon. We've got to get in for an interview too and just hang out. I got to catch up. The wisdom of the sensible is to understand his way, but the foolishness of fools is deceit. And right now, there is a whole lot of deceit going on in the mainstream media. I was going to go down a different path, but literally like an hour ago, the numbers for the GDP came across my newsfeed, and that's where we got to start. That is absolutely where we got to start, because we are being told over and over again that the economy's bad. The economy's bad. We'll be told over and over again, oh, this heat is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And all of a sudden, after a while, we all start believing it. But it's not true. It's the heat is nothing that we haven't had before. I would suggest that the heat that we have now is only being rammed down our throat through news alerts, warnings on our phones, and it is hot outside. Heat deaths get brought to the forefront, but we've had heat deaths in the past, and I just get really fired up over the fact that the mainstream media is trying to cause fear, uncertainty, and doubt into all of us, and we need to be inoculated daily from this craziness. I know vaccinations and inoculations not necessarily this audience's greatest thing, but we got to fight back against it. That means coming together, getting together every day at 10 a.m. at WYAB, hanging out and talking about stuff. So let's get right into it. The U.S. economy grew at 3% in quarter two, a better than expected pace, even as Trump's tariffs kick in. And this is the key, ladies and gentlemen. All of these armchair economists, these so-called experts on the news, saying that these tariffs were going to be bad, they're actually turning out to be pretty good. We're closing in on all of our big deals. All the important deals are getting closed up. The smaller ones, yep, there are definitely many of them out there outstanding, but it doesn't have near the impact of the big deals. And right now, we have not seen any reason not to expect that these deals won't eventually get done. There's going to be a lot of smaller countries that are going to be really upset that they weren't in that first wave. President Trump has said that he's not going to extend the deadline for anybody. And he's going after it full force. What's really interesting about all this is that even though we're having this GDP, do you know what we're not having? Do you know what's not being picked up on the radars really big? Inflation. The economy is really starting to turn itself around. And that by no means doesn't mean that we're out of the woods yet, that we're going to make it and everything's going to be fine and hunky-dory. We're still a lot of stuff to do. This economy needs a lot of work. But man, isn't it nice to have 3% GDP? I haven't seen a number like that in a while. Meaningful. Because you can have 3% GDP, but if you've got rapid inflation, that 3% GDP really don't feel like much. this is actually feeling like something because we're not having the inflation. And the great thing about it is that some of the people in the news, the people who get paid to actually study the news or study the economy, are talking about it. And yes, I realize that these economists lean right. But if you believe in capitalism, then this is going to be the kind of economist you're going to want to listen to and believe in. And here we go. This is CNBC. Here we go.
The left and people that don't like the president and don't want things to work. And, like Senator Elizabeth Warren will come on and say, inflation's out of control and the economy is getting killed by what's happening by these tariffs. This 3% with the market at new highs, and really we haven't seen inflation, go up back to 3%. Maybe it will this week. Maybe we'll see it. But none of these horrible things have happened, but they still talk like it's happening. It's amazing.
Well, there's an important lesson there. Don't pick a congressman to be your money manager. That's what I would say. But in the end, Congress has their own reasons to point out certain things. And the Democrats, of course, as you pointed out, really don't want to see the current administration have some success. But there's no doubt that this is some success. We're seeing more horsepower. We're seeing better equities. Inflation really hasn't changed much in the last year or so.
Isn't that amazing? Positive news. No doom scrolling. Positive news. And just like we like to say here, Democrats don't have solutions. They only have slogans and sound bites. And we're going to get to some great sound bites and slogans here in a little bit. But this economy deal, this is going to have real impact here in Mississippi. We're already talking about the reshoring of jobs. We're already talking about how we're making investments in energy. And we're trying to make sure that well, when I say we, the people running the state, Governor Tate Reeves, Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann, Speaker White, and the other politicos that we've elected, whether you like them or not, those are the people that we've elected. So those are the people we go to war with. But, we're doing pretty good. There's a lot to be desired, but isn't that anything in life? No matter what position you're in, there's always more to be desired. There's always things that can be better. And we're going to talk about that in the next hour because we're going to have a special guest in, Blake Bartlam. He's going to talk all about his perceptions of this. It'll be interesting to see what a 16-year-old thinks about the economy and how he feels about it. That's going to be really cool. It's going to be interesting to see how the the interest rates now at the Fed view this. Will they say that the economy's growing so good that we don't need to lower interest rates, that we need to raise interest rates? I mean, that's a real possibility. They're supposed to meet, I believe, next week on the interest rates, and that's a big deal for so many of us out there who might be wanting to refinance our home and everything like that. But it even gets to a bigger point of view, right? Even though the economy's chugging along, there are political players in the back rooms pulling the strings. All of us on this radio program know that the Federal Reserve is not a quote unquote quote federal agency. It's a private corporation. And it's a problem for the American people when we can't have an economy that's chugging along and it's being completely manipulated by a bunch of men and women in suits. Some people would argue that the stock market's been a racket since day one, and I can't argue that, but that's our capitalistic system. Speaking of capitalism, has anybody seen the new ads for American Eagle jeans? My goodness gracious. I haven't seen something go that banana since like the Budweiser frogs back in the day. People sitting there talking all about it. What's really interesting is there's a party out there that says they're for women, and then there's a party out there that is for women. and just watching some of the comments about those commercials, it's staggering. But you know what is also staggering is American Eagle stock up 17% in one day after that ad blitz comes out. They got rid of the blue-haired, ultra-pierced, androgynous-looking models and just went for, let's be honest, a good-looking woman selling jeans. Some would say that she's selling something else, and you cannot deny that either. But all of a sudden, there's a lot of girls out there who want to go buy jeans from American Eagle. Capitalism at work, the economy at work, Trump's tariffs at work. You know who's going to get hooked up on those tariffs? Is India. They can't seem to cut a deal. They're going to go to 25% plus a penalty because they're doing so much business with Russia. Trump is ruthless, man. He's absolutely on his game. He's doing the things that need to be done to put America first, put Americans first, not brown and black and white and Indian first. Americans. And that's where we've got to get to in this society. And Mississippi can lead the way on that. That's where we've got to get to in this society, to where we put Americans first and stop worrying about all this other stuff. It's disgusting to me to see how many people are gaslighted into thinking stuff that they otherwise would have never believed in the first place. Dare I say, spilling the tea. And that's a whole nother segment. But we're off and running here on the Andrew Gosser Show, 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
Come see me and I'll customize a pair just for you at iGear Optical, 2630 Highway 80 East in Pearl, and on the web at iGearOptical.com.
Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins of Home Care Plus in Ridgeland. We are a proud carrier of Abena Premium Incontinence products. Abena has the most absorbency available, making changes and leaks less likely. After 7 years as a seller, I can tell you these products are amazing and worth every penny to quality of life for patient and caregiver. And we ship all incontinence products as well. So please come see us at Home Care Plus in Ridgeland for all the incontinence needs of you or your family member. That's Home Care Plus in Ridgeland.
So when are you going to check that thing off your to-do list?
Oh, right, that. I don't know. How about next week?
How about now?
Or I could do it later, right?
No more putting it off. Do it now so you don't forget. You want this and have for a while.
You're right. I want this.
You deserve this, and it can help you in the long run. There, I just logged on to homescc.edu. We're getting you registered right now.
Wait. Hold up. I thought you had to show up on site to register at Homes.
You can do either one. You know that career you talk about all the time? The life you dream about? It starts today. How does that famous quote go?
Don't. Please don't.
The secret to getting ahead is
Getting started.
Fall classes start August 18th, and we don't do Fridays at home. Register at a campus near you Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 3:30, or right now at homecc.edu. And when you come to Home CC, your tuition could be free with a 20 on your ACT.
Holmes Community College.
no place like Homes.
Malone is a company in motion, striving daily to improve the way the roofing industry operates and is perceived. A leader in commercial and residential roofing, metal walls, and maintenance. Malone means the highest quality materials delivered with expertise workmanship from a claim or construction. At Malone, you've found your roofing and metal walls partner. Malone has proven for generations there is nothing we can't accomplish. Protecting people and what matters to you. More info at ecmalone.com.
Well, I'm sitting here today with one of my favorite clients, Reggie Bromfield. The first time I believe we worked together was around 25 years ago, wasn't it, Reggie?
I remember that time, my wife, Kathy, and I, we were looking for a home. He sold that house to us, and when we got ready to buy another home, he helped us sell that home and buy another home. So 25 years later, when we decided to purchase another home, your name was the only one in our minds.
601-720-4037, RitaJensen.net.
Oh, yes, we are back on the Andrew Gosser Show. We're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube, that social media platform that begins with the F. And if you're doing that right now, would you please do me a favor and give the stream a like and share it on out there? Let's grow the audience. I appreciate it. Also, if you're on X and want to see what I'm looking at, you can follow me. It's just at Andrew Gosser, at AndrewGasser. And in the next hour, we're going to be talking a lot of local politics. And there's this thing going on called the Neshoba County Fair. Ronaldus Magnus got the chance to speak there. Incredible. And I know that we've got people out there who are taking part in that. And today and tomorrow, the politicos talk. It's a big deal in Mississippi. And I just think that the more that we can get involved in going to things like that, I've gone one time. I would like to go again, but the radio show is way more important to me than going to the Neshoba County Fair. My audience, you guys make this show run, and I'm grateful and thankful to all of you. But another place you could go to get involved in local politics is next Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Mama Hamels. Grip and Grin. Get yourself plugged in. And I know Blake and I are going to talk about that a lot. Well, you want to know who looks like he's definitely plugged in. He's definitely got something going on with him. Is the senator from New Jersey. My goodness gracious. Has anybody seen the diatribe that Cory Brooks went on the well of the Senate? And if you haven't, you should. Because, again, here we go. Are the Democrats and those elected officials providing any solutions? Or are they getting their minute and 25 seconds of fame? That's the real deal right there. If you're really trying to get solutions, the accolades come afterwards. Even if they didn't like you, they have to admit that what you did works. The people will know. They're a great sense of judgment. This guy right here, we're about to listen to him. He needs a health and wellness check.
What I am tired of is when the President of the United States of America violates the Constitution, trashes our norms and traditions. And what does the Democratic Party do? Comply? Allow him? Beg for scraps? No, I demand justice. I will fight for Jersey every day, every night. This is a call, folks. The Democratic Party needs a wake-up call. I see law firms bending a knee to this president. I see businesses taking late-night talk show hosts off the air because they dare to insult a president. I see people who want mergers suddenly think that they have to pay tribute to this president. And what are the very people here elected to defend the Constitution of the United States, saying, oh, well, today, let's look the other way and pass some resources that won't go to Connecticut, that won't go to Illinois, that won't go to New York, that will go to the states he likes. That is complicity with an authoritarian leader who is trashing our Constitution. It's time for Democrats to have a backbone. It's time for us to fight. It's time for us to draw lines. And when it comes to the safety of my state being denied these grants, that's why I'm standing here. Don't question my integrity. Don't question my motives. I'm standing for Jersey. I am standing for my police officers. I'm standing for the Constitution, and I'm standing for what's right.
My goodness. If I'm going to retweet this right now, you've got to actually watch this and look at this dude's eyes and look at his animation. Now, I'm full disclosure. I always tell my audience, if there's jump cuts, if there's something that's not, where we take a little break, there were a lot of pauses in that because of the breaks, how the Democrats like to string things out. And that's coming from libs of TikTok, by the way. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that they are angry that Trump's cut or Trump's big beautiful bill is going through. They're angry that his policies are going through and they can't stop it. They literally can't stop it. And these are all rules that got put into place because of the Democrats. The Senate used to never operate this way. Filibusters were rare and almost never happened. Now, if you actually try to use the general Senate process, it's going to get filibustered. It's so screwed up. And people say, well, if you get rid of the filibuster, that ruins the Senate. It does. But the original intent of the filibuster also while the original application of the filibuster has not changed, the intent and how to use it has. And that was started by the Democrats back in the late 2000s. It's just what it is now. It's horrible. I don't think we've had a clean budget bill since 2014, I want to say. It's been a while. Long time. And by the way, Mr. Booker was somebody who was considered to be a presidential candidate in 2020. He might try to run again. The other really insidious part of all this is that when they're making these outlandish statements and sitting there trying to grandstand, and that's what they are, he's saying that you can't question his integrity or his intent and his motive. But of course we can. It's just another part of the whole scam that politicians on both sides play. Don't question my integrity. People have questioned my integrity before, and I said, well, that's great. Here you go. When you're open and transparent, you don't have those questions of integrity or motive. But when you're full of deceit and when you're sneaking, like the Democrats did for the last 4 years while they had the Senate, all of a sudden now things are starting to get illuminated. They're starting to get brought out to where people can see openly. And that's the great part about the internet, great part about WYAB, is that we can have these open conversations and say, look, this is really what's happening. And that's what's going on your Senate floor right now. And to see the outright rage in this dude's eyes, I mean, he's truly raging. He is upset, fiery mad, absolutely crazed. You know what else is absolutely crazed? Has anybody heard of this T app? I don't want to get into all the particulars, but what is incredible to me is that first of all, it's a group of feminists who were stupid enough to upload their own personal credentials to a website and trust that the website was going to protect their stuff. And the whole goal of this app was to complain about men. And unfortunately for all these women, all their information has been put online. Millions of text messages between users have been put out there. All the pictures have been downloaded, but it wasn't because of a hack like the mainstream media would have you believe. Oh no. They literally had these files in an open folder on the internet. And if it's out there, Reddit is going to find it. And what is Reddit going to do once they find something like that? That's right. They're going to monetize it. And it's really horrible, some of the things that they're talking about. Posting pictures of men without their approval, without their consent. Sitting there talking about their opinion of hey, that's fine. You can talk about your opinion of men, but then all of a sudden when men decide to talk about their opinion of certain women, oh, you can't do that. That's sexist. That's racist. It's like the more feminism goes down this road, the more and more people are starting to see that, hey, this isn't such a good idea. Handmaid's Tale. That's the first thing they say. Handmaid's Tale. No. But I still submit this, that this is the best thing that a woman can do, is be a mom. And only a woman can be a mom. A dad can do some things that a mom can do, but a guy cannot be a mom. And here's the thing, ladies, and I know there's lots of you out there listening. There's this thing called the biological clock, and it's ticking. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Hey, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, this is Willie. I just wanted to tell you that, well, actually at least, what was Cory Booker when they were canceling businesses and shows because they wouldn't go woke. You know, I never heard him say it wasn't right then. But, you know, Stephen Colbert, I never thought he was that good of a host anyway. But this is my opinion. And I guess other people love him. But as far as I'm concerned, that's a show that I would never miss. And as far as the thing with Putin and all of that, with I know her name is Jasmine Crockett.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You know, but I she made a statement that like Trump is needs to go a span when it comes down to they was Putin's puppet. You know, and I'm wondering, how does she feel now, or is it just you call it grandstanding?
Yep.
You know, and I guess that's what it really is. But people see, they know, the one who wants to see. You know, Jesus said that, you know, let the ones who want to see and hear, let them hear. You know, they'll hear, but the one who just you can't convince. You know, you got some people. There's a colonel. I'm a retiree from the military myself, officer, and there's a colonel that calls me and texts me all. I had to tell him, you know, you can text me concerning Christ, scripture about God and all that, but when you start talking politics, because your mind is made up. You know, Trump is bad. You know, no matter what he does, if he found the cure for cancer, it would be y'all would be complaining that he should have done it 10 years ago. You know, you get what I'm saying. Hopefully.
Oh, absolutely,
You know,
Willie. I've got a saying.
You know,
I'll use that in the next segment for sure about what Democrats think about Donald Trump.
Yeah, you know, and they just, and I'm really tired of hearing about this heat thing. I know it's hot. Don't get me wrong. I know it's hot. But I went to school we didn't have air conditioning.
Nope.
We had to sit in school. They didn't let school out because it was a hot day. You know, and I told them, I said, you know, good night. You know, what's wrong? We're raising these kids now to be like they just becoming tender.
Yep.
You know, soft. You know, we were growing. You know, I told my wife that when I think I maybe from the first grade through the 12th grade, well, I only made it through 11 because I was fortunate enough to not have to go to the 12th grade. They said my grades were so good that they give me a scholarship to go to college, you know, so I went on there. But listen, and please, when I say my grade, I'm going to give the credit where it belongs. My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Took care of all of that, okay? It wasn't me, all right? So, but I just tired of people just seem like we're going to bend over backwards. I think I ate in the lunchroom maybe 8 to 12, maybe 12 times out of my whole school career, because my mother, she wasn't going to shame the family, and my father. They weren't going to shame the family by allowing neighbors to know that we were on welfare or something like that. They wouldn't apply for welfare. But we made it through, thank God.
Willie.
And we never had government to come and say, well, here, let me give you this. Let me give you. You know, sometimes you just have to get back to saying, hey, I'm going to say it like this and I'll hang up. I know I've been on a long time.
It's all right, Brother Willie.
When President Kennedy, and that stuck on my mind, and I was a little boy then, when he made that statement that ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. That's a very, very deep statement to me, very profound. And it's just, why don't we just go ahead and concentrate on stop trying to determine what we need the country to do for us and what we need to do for the country. That's all I have to say. Listen, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and you take care, and God bless you all, okay?
God bless you too, Willie, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think of a better way to roll in the break than listen to Brother Willie drop some dimes. We'll be right back on the Andrew Gosser Show, 103.9 WYAB.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Fox News commentary.
Climate weirdos demand an end to the Blue Angels Air Show in Seattle. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Sponsored by AxeCap Ventures. America, listen up. Gold prices are breaking records. With inflation raging and central banks hoarding, every American should own gold. And like President Trump said, whoever holds the gold makes the rules. AxeCap Ventures owns one of Nevada's largest undeveloped gold deposits and trades for pennies on the dollar. This could be your way to ride the gold boom. AxeCap trades under GARLF on the OTC. Visit axecapventures.ca today.
Climate activists ruin everything. They're very selective in the environmental causes they choose to target. Here's a real dumb one. Seattle climate activists, dubbed the Air Show Climate Action Coalition, are demanding an end to the U.S. Navy's iconic Blue Angels air show. They claim the jets pollute the environment, and they even erected a billboard that reads, "Say no to the Blue Angels." The Blue Angels are an elite team of sailors and Marines who demonstrate the power and pride of U.S. military aviation, so it's no wonder some weirdos in deep blue Seattle take issue. Sure, they say it's about climate change, but I'm sure their disdain for patriotism has something to do with it. But I find it odd these supposed climate activists don't take the same issue or display the same passion about the rampant and daily pollution in downtown Seattle that consists of, but is not limited to, needles, human feces, litter, and sprawling homeless encampments. I guess all that stuff is just Mother Nature. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
This Nissan was taken to a shop preferred by the insurance company. This repair took several weeks and cost over $20,000. This car came to Clinton Body Shop for a post-repair inspection. We found dangerous, substandard repairs and parts that were paid for but not installed. The insurance company bought this car from the owner. Have you used an insurance-preferred body shop? If you have, call Eva Clinton Body Shop for a post-repair inspection. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call P-Police. Let P-Police take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. P-Police is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients who trust P-Police to simplify their employee administration. Visit ppolice.com. That's ppolice.com to learn more. It's time to put a little more sizzle in your red-hot Mississippi summer at Mazda of Jackson. Drive away on your road trip with a boost from Mazda of Jackson's $1,000 off owner loyalty reward and low 1.9% financing on a 2025 CX-90, CX-70, and the Assembled in America CX-50. And take advantage of the pre-tariff inventory before it's gone. It's time to choose Mazda. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson.
The mowing season is full on here in Mississippi. I'm David Frederick, owner of Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. The industry-changing Exmark Laser Seed commercial mower turns 30 years old this year and has been redesigned with even more great features you just have to see. We have a sale going on with instant rebates and 0% financing is available too. Stop by our store and let our award-winning staff show you the Exmark difference. Fredericks and Exmark, over 3 decades serving you in Brandon since 1993.
Tools, paint, mowers, equipment parts, service, and rentals are all under one roof at Hometown Hardware in Flora. Hometown Hardware has...
Everybody listening online, Brother Blake has just arrived in the studio. It's going to be a great second hour. Can't wait to share it with y'all.
In Milwaukee, Hometown Hardware even has a full lumber yard, paint matching, pool water testing, propane filling, key cutting, and much more. Hometown Hardware, Highway 49 in Flora.
Yep, we are back on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Had some real knowledge dropped by Brother Willie in that last segment. We went a little long, but I wanted to make sure that we gave him the time that he needed to make his points. And I just want to piggyback off 2 of those things. First of all, the anxiety devices and this heat wave that's going through. When you have these cell phones going off, telling these young skulls full of mush that they're going to die from the heat, when this isn't nothing new. The only thing that's different between now and 1980 is the cell phone and the information and how often you get pounded with that information. And it's changing the way our kids think. And it can be the same can be said about the T app and these women. You're not seeing a lot of these Gen X women. There are some on there, but you're not seeing too many of these Gen X women. You're seeing a lot of these younger women who don't know that it's probably not a good idea to upload their full ID to a web app or to a phone app when all they're doing is sitting there ragging on men and sharing and spreading their misery with other women who are going through the same thing. Not good. It's not good. That lack of common sense, it's lacking, truly. That lack of common sense. And it's not with all kids out there. It's just, there are lots of kids out there who making great decisions. You look at them go to college at an earlier age, or even better yet, they're deciding not to go to college because they want to have a trade skill where they can make more money and not have to get all the bills from college. That's some of the wisest ones out there. The whole generation's not going down the drain, but you know what? They are going to have a completely different set of challenges than what we had to go through, as whether we're Gen X or early millennials or even boomers before that. But that's the whole point that with society that we've got to work to overcome. And the only way we're going to do it is by getting involved locally. And like I said, we're not going to be able to worry about Senator Booker in New Jersey, although that's really fun to listen to that clip. Watching him the anger and rage in his eyes. He was ready to fight right there on the Senate floor. And I was just like, I've seen senators pretty upset and angry, but I've never seen one like that. Oh, the other thing too, Willie, you were bringing up the fact that the Democrats will blame President Trump for everything, and they would never give him credit for nothing. And I've been saying this for the longest time, and it's true. President Trump could cure AIDS, hunger, solve the energy crisis, stop the wars, and figure out who put John Cena into retirement in the WWE, and he still wouldn't get any credit for it. He'll never get the credit he deserves, and he knows that. And all of us who support President Trump, we know that. But that's just the way it is. And Trump's not going to lose any sleep over it, and you shouldn't lose any sleep over it either. Another quick story here, because in the next segment, we're going to kind of ease Blake in, and we'll get ready for the full up show in the next hour. But this tsunami that happened last night, the 6th strongest recorded earthquake on record, 8.8. They said it was an 8.7, but it's been upgraded to an 8.8. And you know what? Good on the people of Hawaii, the government of Hawaii, for sounding the tsunami sirens. It did cause a mass panic. It happens. Oprah Winfrey has the only road that leads to higher ground on the island that she lives on. And I'm not sure what island it is. I could go look it up. But she would not let people go through her private property to get to higher ground. Look at it. It's incredible. This is the Color Purple lady, the one who did all this great philanthropic work back in the 80s and 90s. Oh no, big waves coming. You can't come on my property. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to ride it out down below. Eventually, she did cave and open up the road. But that just kind of goes to show you the person Oprah Winfrey really is. And all these celebrities and stars that have been put on pedestals over the last decades, they are not the people that you think they are. And everybody's got things that they're not proud of. Dare I say, skeletons in the closet. We all got them. But that doesn't mean that that should affect you in the here and now. I mean, I'm here in Mississippi when natural disasters happen. I have never seen communities come together so quick. And I sincerely mean that. It's incredible. It happens all over the United States too, but it's just a different gravy here in Mississippi. We get together, we figure out what the problem is, and people just start helping. And I love it where I live. You've heard the story before, but a bunch of old men on tractors who probably shouldn't be driving tractors, wielding chainsaws. Lord have mercy. But you know what? The roads get open pretty quick, and the government ain't the ones doing it. We have a good time down there in Terry. We really do. So you got the Oprah thing, the GDP thing, the Neshoba County Fair. And the other thing I want to say is, and this will come out in the next, but man, love your kids, because you just never know. Kids go out there and by no fault of their own, something happens, and the next thing you know, they're gone. And that's hitting our community close to home. And no fault of their own, something bad happened, and you lose one. And it hurts, especially when they're a teen. It hurts no matter what age it is, but my goodness. So if you've got kids out there, give them an extra special hug tonight. Let them know you love them. And it'll be coming out as soon as more details come out publicly. I'll talk about it more, but I feel compelled to let everybody know to hug their kids today. I know I will. You're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on. So there's the camera right there. Yep. And I've got you centered up. You're looking pretty good. If that's where you want to sit, you want to pull that closer to you or whatever you need to do. Just be aggressive with it. If you like sitting there trying to, yeah.
you doing today?
Dude, I'm doing awesome, man. I'm doing awesome.
Good.
You doing good?
Oh yeah.
That's cool. It's going to be a great show, man. I'm really excited
I'm
to
pumped.
hear what you got to say. And I've got a few things, but we're just going to bounce back and forth. Are there any issues that you want to specifically talk about?
We can talk about the fair again.
Yep.
Then this is breaking news in the last couple of minutes. I don't know if I doubt you've seen this yet.
Oh man, we got to talk about that. I'm gonna let you break that, dude. I'm not even gonna put it on the internet. Holy cow!
Yeah, and it all connects back to that raid of Mar-a-Lago. They weren't really looking for classified documents; they were looking for info they had on Obama.
Yep. And President Trump's wife's panty drawer.
Exactly.
That's exactly what they did. Sick freaks.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we talk about the fair. Let's see what else. What else is going on?
I want to hear about what you're doing. What are you and your friends planning? Without you don't want to like give your whole game plan of what you're planning to do. But I mean, I think it's important that people see that you're out there.
Yeah. Right now, we're building our team for the rhino removal project, and actually reaching out to someone today to get another strategic partner on board.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we'll have another organization hopefully sign on with us, and yeah, and we're Gannon Burton gets back in, I want to say either October or November. And as soon as he gets back, he should fire up his campaign for Senate against Cindy Hyde-Smith.
He's going to run?
As far as I know.
Wow.
From the knowledge that I have.
Yep. And then I also know that there's another woman running.
Sarah Aldhacka, I think is her name. Yeah.
She's from Illinois.
Really?
Yeah, she's an Illinois lefty like me. I actually broke that when I saw that online. She's running.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tough to beat Cindy. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know.
No,
she's got like a 94%. She's got like a 94% voter approval with Trump. I mean,
yeah, it's really the thing that I think we're gonna have to harp on is that she's really just a yes person. Like she didn't do anything. She's just there to vote yes on stuff. And if you want like a true fighter, that's your alternative.
What about local races? Are you looking at any local races?
See, the special election, the two that we're focused on are down at Hattiesburg, Senate District 42.
Okay, go ahead.
Senate District 42 and 44. Don Hartness is running in Senate District 42, and I forget the other guy's name, but those are two rhinos we're trying to get out of office. So we're trying to put Don Hartness in. Mary Jo and MPVR just endorsed Don Hartness this morning.
Yep. We'll talk about that in the next hour.
Perfect.
Wow, we got lots of commercials. So yeah, we'll save all of that because that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about on the air. Was the fact that there's people up at the top, Congress and Senate, that's so hard to get rid of. But these local races, where like in Pelahatchie, they had to go to a coin flip because they each got 34 votes each, right?
I saw that.
So, yeah, man, let's get this last segment out of the way.
No problem.
And we are back on the Andrew Gosser show. Blake is in the studio. I've got him on the camera. We were talking during the break. You might have heard a little bit of it. We are getting ready to go. Blake is going to drop some breaking news in the next segment. Things that we want to definitely talk about. One is the Neshoba County Fair. You're excited about that, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you like about Neshoba County Fair, man?
Well, it is cool because I do call it the biggest, the biggest party in Mississippi, basically the biggest house party, and it's really neat. But there's also some more like interesting parts, in my opinion. How it really is some of the only times you ever see some of our elected officials talk to regular people.
Yep.
And I think it's almost shameful, in my opinion.
Yep. And then you got the Black Hawk helicopters coming in and causing all sorts of craziness at the county fair. If you don't know, Black Hawks were supporting the vets, doing a vet event. And that downwash, man, with those Black Hawks is pretty severe. It's pretty severe. Yep. So we're going to talk about that. The text line is open, and I got to read this. Brother Rick, you had some good points, and I want to make sure that I got that. He went and said about Cory Booker. He goes, if someone in power says don't question their motive, that's the first thing you should do. And I think we all agree on that. When politicians, look, we all want to be patted, and I'm a recovering politician. I'm in recovery. That's right. All I want to do is get pat on the head, told I did a good job, save some money, and go home at the end of the day. I didn't really like the fight. It's just one of those things where there's so many politicians who just get sucked into it, and it's like a gravity, and you're on the outside and the peripheral, and you can feel it. But as you get drawn into it, man, it's brutal. It's brutal, and there's not a lot of ways to get out of that. So Blake's going to be on the next hour. He's going to be talking about his project. You want to talk about your project? Give it a shout out so people can talk about it during the break.
The rhino removal project. So if you don't know what that is, go get a little bearings on it before we get started, and we really tell you what it's all about.
It's going to be fun. And then we're going to talk also about some other Mississippi races around the state. And the cool thing about this is we had to do this show today. And the reason that we had to do this show today was because someone starts high school again tomorrow.
Yep, last year, senior year.
Senior year. Isn't that crazy? And I am so grateful for you, Blake, because there's a lot of people who are interested in politics and tacitly follow it. But you're one of those people who are out there like, hey, let's go do that. And we need a flag rally. Well, no one's doing it. Well, I'm going to do it. And the thing about that is, and one of the things that a lot of senior political strategists don't like, when they see somebody doing something on their own, then that actually shifts that bubble that I like talking about every so often, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's just what we have to do. It's just how we have to do it. We can't sit there and wait to be told to do something. You got to go out there and do it within reason. You know, and also I would say if you've got all of this capital, you can go out there and do a big deal. Like we were talking about that billionaire who's thinking about doing some stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's really cool. You can do that, but most of us, we have to start down low, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to hear about that. And you're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB with Blake Bartlam. Top of the hour break. We're going to be right back.
WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump takes trade action against India, and he insists his August 1st tariff deadline for some other countries won't be extended. CBS's Nancy Cordes at the White House.
Just the fact that he is reiterating that the deadline is the deadline is notable because the deadline has slipped several times. But the president is saying, no, it is going to happen on Friday. He's going to announce new tariff rates for dozens of countries around the world. And he gave us something of a sneak peek this morning when he said that he's going to be slapping a 25% tariff on goods coming from India.
He's also imposing an additional tax for India's dealings with Russia. Federal safety officials have opened a hearing saying they've determined that a military helicopter involved in the deadly January crash with a passenger jet over Washington was flying above its height limit. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy.
Please know that we are working diligently to make sure we know what occurred, how it occurred, and to prevent it from ever happening again.
67 people died in the crash. No major damage reported in Hawaii and the West Coast after a powerful Pacific earthquake kicked up tsunami waves. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti.
When you talk about the panic that came from the sirens, bumper-to-bumper traffic for hours this morning, there is now relief. after evacuation orders have been lifted.
President Trump touches off more controversy, saying Jeffrey Epstein stole some of his employees. Here's CBS's Scott McFarland.
Among those who Trump says was poached or stolen from Mar-a-Lago was one of Epstein's most outspoken victims, Virginia Giuffre.
I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her.
According to her family, Giuffre died by suicide earlier this year.
The government says the economy grew at an annual rate of 3% in the spring quarter, a slight improvement over a slight drop in the winter. Now to Birmingham, England. For fans of the late music icon Ozzy Osbourne turned out for his funeral procession. Mark Savage of our partners at the BBC is taking it all in.
Thousands of people were lining the streets from the early hours of this morning, all chanting his name and living up to his reputation in a way. I saw people drinking from Viking horns and scrawling his name across their chest in black marker.
Osbourne once said he wanted his funeral to be a celebration of his life and not a mope fest. The Dow is down 6 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit progressive.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For
Local news and weather brought to you by Mississippi Energy Services. We're your fast, affordable, and friendly generator service company. msenergy.us. msenergy.us.
Is it too much to ask to have water? And you'll need plenty of it today with a high at 98 and another excessive heat warning in effect. The chances for storms this afternoon at 40%. The heat index at 112. 76 and a small chance for rain tonight. That rain chance goes up to 50% Thursday with a high at 97. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
If we had to go to court to get some resolution of this, we're going to do it. Because it makes no sense these citizens paying their water bill, but yet they have no water.
Councilman Kenneth Stokes at Tuesday's council meeting.
And most of these citizens, some of these citizens are handicapped.
He says to get water at one apartment complex, a fire truck was brought in. That was so people could flush their toilets. Stokes says the council means to see that people who pay their bills get water, despite the management at some apartment complexes not forwarding the money to Jackson Water. Meanwhile, Mayor Horn says he's creating a new commission whose job will be to make sure apartment complex managers and landlords are acting in the best interest of the people paying rent. At the same council meeting, it was suggested by Mr. Stokes that departments within the city be reorganized, saying that may help save some money. Stokes says there are too many department heads, and he wants to see more money go to the police department. 2 Jackson firefighters had to be treated for overheating. Not too hard to fathom, right? With the heat and fighting a fire at a vacant house Tuesday afternoon on Clearbrook Drive, those firefighters are expected to be okay.
Black Hawk helicopter blew everything off Denise's porch. Holy crap.
That happened Tuesday as 2 choppers landed for a veterans ceremony at the Neshoba County Fair. The audio from the Neshoba Democrat. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed in this
Yes, you are. You are locked, loaded, ready for launch on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube. We're even streaming on that social media platform that begins with a F, but we don't like to say the name, fam. And we're streaming at the mothership, WYAB.com. We're going to be equipping the Saints this hour with Brother Blake Bartlam. He's in the studio with me. Look, if you want to text the show, the number is 601-879-5060. And we've got all sorts of stuff. But before we get into all that, we got to thank my man Bruce over at iGear Optical. They're sponsoring this whole hour. Thank you for that. If you're looking for eyeglasses, look, iGear Optical is the way for you. It's located at 2630 Highway 80 in Pearl. You're getting that good Mississippi customer service that you come to expect that you don't get at all these box stores. They're available from Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They're also online at iGearOptical.com. Go see Bruce Bennett. Oh, he's the owner over there, and a small individual shop that's just doing the Lord's work for us. So if you're looking for glasses, go ahead and go talk to my man Bruce. And with that, Blake, how goes it, my friend?
It's going good. How about you?
Man, I'll tell you what, I was looking forward to this since we started talking about doing the next follow-up show. You're the first two-time guest, man.
What can I say?
Dude,
you're ready to roll.
Rocking and rolling, ready for lunch. Well, dude, let's just do it all cannonball style. Go ahead with that breaking news, man.
All right, breaking news. Kash Patel has found thousands of sensitive Trump-Russia probe documents inside burn bags in a secret room at the FBI. What a way to get your morning started.
My goodness, they've got the receipts, man. They're finding this. And, you know, those of us who are on the right, especially MAGA types, we want like our pound of flesh right now. We want it right now. And it's just going to take some patience. And what's really going to be interesting to see, they found the burn bags. That's great. So like that wets our whistles, right?
Right.
But what if it's just nothing more than just notes that don't really amount to nothing?
And obviously that'd be very disappointing. But I think some of it taking a long time is also a good thing, because whenever Tulsi came out with the first round of information, they baited Obama's office into releasing a statement saying that it was all lies. And then the very next day, Tulsi came back out with all of the receipts. So I think it's good in a way as well.
Yeah, I think that it's going down the right path. I think Kash and Dan were the right choices to help clean out the FBI.
Absolutely.
And there's still a lot of deep staters or big government, or however you want to call it. There's still a lot of those people in the government today.
Yeah.
But I do think that they're doing a good job of starting to get that all cleared out. And that's really a good news. So we're talking about the FBI. You talked about Tulsi too. What is your view on the whole Russia gate type of thing?
I think it's the biggest. I think it's bigger than Watergate. I think it's the biggest scandal in American history, because you had a president who won an election that no one thought he was going to win, and because they were upset about the result, they tried to usurp the will of the American people by lying and saying that he worked with Russia or colluded with Russia when it just wasn't true.
Yep.
And whenever you look into, you find out, oh, the Clintons had a little stuff going on with Russia here and there. So it's all projection and it's all lies.
So you've got the FBI finding this stuff. You've got Tulsi doing her thing, and then you still have the whole Epstein story out there. What's your thoughts on that?
I think the problem is that people, they kind of get ahead of themselves, because the Trump administration is trying to get it released, but you have to do it through the courts. And an Obama-appointed judge blocked the release of the grand jury testimony. There's nothing the Trump administration can do about it. Once the courts block it, the courts block it. They can appeal it, and I'm sure they will, but they can't just release it with the snap of a finger. And also, I think it's hard, because I have a hard time believing that a Biden or Obama DOJ really just left clean Epstein documents just laying around for the new Trump administration to come in and find. I have a hard time believing that. And I think they've been very corrupted. And I mean, it's one of the biggest cover-ups. The cover-up, I saw Tucker Carlson talking about this the other day, is that the cover-up likely began whenever they got that first arrest warrant for Jeffrey Epstein, that first search warrant. Because I think that happened under Bush.
Yep.
Bush, yeah. And I think the cover-up's begun since then.
Yep. And, I talked about this on the break, and you kind of smiled like this could be, but the whole thing between Elon Musk and President Donald Trump, in wrestling terms, I think this is a work.
Mm-hmm.
And hear me out. And I haven't really talked about this on the air before, but I think this is the good place to do it, where we can talk back and forth. Andy, you might be out to lunch here, or Blake, I understand what you're saying there. But when we think about when this whole Epstein thing started going up, it was really getting no traction. It was all, it's all so long ago, whatever. And it is almost like Trump and Elon had to get together and say, look, we're going to have to change how not just people feel about the Epstein files, but how they approach it.
Right.
And the only way to really take the attention away from it and kind of reset the deck, reset the game board, was for those two to go head to head in a WWE SmackDown main event over Twitter.
Yeah.
And just watch two of the world's most powerful men look like they're actually going to war, when I genuinely feel like, they're sitting there throwing tweets and truths at each other. And then in private text messages, you're like, man, that was a good one. Hey, do this. And here we go over here. And if you think about it, it makes total sense, because now it's not just a one-prong war where it's just the Epstein files. Now you've got Russiagate. Now you've got the Obama thing going in there.
Right.
And it just seems like now they're all building on top of each other, and it's pushing the whole Trump agenda forward.
Right.
And I don't like the big, beautiful bill. I've been on record saying I know that's what we had to do,
Yeah.
but there's lots of stuff that we have to get in there and take care of. But
Mhm.
That's my thoughts on Elon and President Trump. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I think it was one of the only ways that you'd have the Democrats come out and want the release of the Epstein files, because for the last 10 years or whatever it's been, they would ridicule you if you even talked about the Epstein files.
Yeah.
They would tell you it's fake, it doesn't exist, yada yada yada. But the second they thought there was any inclination that they could get Donald Trump on there, that's when they started to care about it, which just shows you that their mindset is about getting Donald Trump, not protecting the victims or getting justice for all the innocent children that were, had all those terrible things happen to them. They don't care about that. They just want to get Trump. That just shows you how their real mindset. And I think that's one of the most telling things that's come out over the last 2 weeks or whatever it's been.
Yep. That's a great point. It wasn't necessarily the Republicans versus the Democrats, or even the political class against the rest of us. It was the never Trumpers against Donald Trump.
Right.
And it had to be some way for them to unite the never Trumpers. And I mean, look at the cost that's come to Elon Musk with his Tesla dealerships being firebombed and his stock getting tanked. I mean, they tried to short the heck out of that stock, man. And it didn't end up working, but my goodness gracious. I mean, the things that people go through, and you can kind of tie that back to American history, like the sacrifices that our founding fathers made.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really tough. But that was my thought on Elon and President Trump. You got any other thoughts on that?
I think it's time will tell.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Wise words. And we are with Blake Bartlam here in the office, or in the studio, excuse me, as we're talking about all things politics. We're starting off nationally. We were going to actually go much more local, but when Cash found the burn bags, we had to talk about that.
Got to break some news.
Yep. So do you have no plans to go to Neshoba County Fair, right?
No, sir. Not with school starting tomorrow.
No.
So
Is
I
it-
wish, but
Is school starting a lot sooner this year than in the past?
for certain districts, it's really just up to the schools and the districts, because some schools are going to try the all year, so they're getting inching closer and closer to that, or some schools are just going to hold off. So,
Oh man, all year schooling?
yeah. So you get, I think it's after every 9 weeks, you get 2 weeks or whatever off, and then you get a week for fall break and somewhere in there. I don't know, but I'll be gone before I have to worry about that. So,
My goodness gracious, man. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I didn't have a summer break.
Yeah.
Man, I'm old.
yeah.
So I've been to Neshoba County Fair one time. It was awesome. I went with Chris McDaniel's crew, and I, paid my own way in. I didn't
Right.
get, I
You
didn't get
paid like the Elberts people.
No. And it was, but what was pretty amazing is Chris had a great showing, and I think they were actually, Delbert had a few more people there. He had bus people in, but the fact that those of us who paid our own way in, we were so much stronger, and we were right up in front, and it was just,
Right.
it was nuts. And to watch that old school politicking from the stoop, and I mean, it's, if you haven't been, it's something that you should do,
Mhm.
and definitely go after. I love the Neshoba County Fair, and you being raised here and everything, you've got to see it, since you
Yeah.
can remember. What are some of your thoughts on that?
I think it's really cool. Because I know you've had Reagan come to it, you had
Yeah.
Trump Jr. come to it in 2016, and it's a really cool thing. They do call it the biggest house party, and I mean it's awesome. But one thing that sort of drives me nuts a little bit is that it's one of the only public appearances, and especially the only times you have our elected officials like actually talk to regular people. And it's not even regular people sometimes, because not everybody can take off work or school to go up to the Neshoba County Fair on weekdays. So it's a big showing and they get their publicity, but it also is like, it shouldn't take an annual fair for you to actually talk to the people that you claim to represent.
And you think about it too, the people who go to the big political speeches, they're quote unquote politically inclined anyway.
Right. That's that grip and grin. That's like, oh yeah. It's the
I love
same
grip
thing.
and grin.
I love it, but it's like, this is the same. This is just the country club voters. That's so.
The thing that I like about grip and grin is that it allows you to plug in and stay connected with people who actually know how to run campaigns, who actually understand things locally, and that's my whole mission in life here on the radio and is getting new people plugged into the political process, not the political machine, the political process.
Yeah.
So that way, going down the road, we're building the bench for the future, because it's like Mississippi. People don't realize this, but Mississippi hasn't had an open primary. Where like someone stepping down, they always appointed somebody in, and then they get to run as the. I think since like 1978.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there. It's ridiculous. But
I mean, it's and I get it. We don't want to let the Democrats get that seat, or we don't want to let the Republicans get that seat.
Yeah.
And I understand the political calculus of it all, but at the same time, I'm sitting there looking at it like, man, if we had an honest, open run, it wouldn't be what the parties want. It would be what the public and the state want.
And that's what it was. That's what it's supposed to be. But I mean,
So in school, did you get a lot of civics classes and stuff like that?
That'll be so. This year I'll have AP government. That'll be my most like significant civics class so far.
Does everybody get to take AP government, or?
You can do regular government or you can do AP government, and AP government will give you a college credit.
A college credit? One. Uno más.
Uno más. So you get 15 credit hours or whatever it is. So.
My goodness. So that's pretty interesting. Do you have know the curriculum or anything yet, or?
Not yet, but I mean, if I had to guess, it's pretty straightforward. Just Constitution, Article 3, Article 4, stuff like that. So
I'll be interested to see if they teach you anything about local elections and anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good question, because it's really more federal. They focus on the federal government, because I mean, sure, they'll tell us you have your state government, yada yada, but I mean, it's really more the federal government, I think, which is a shame, because a lot of your most important elections are your like supervisors and your city council and stuff like that. So,
school board, man.
Right? Yeah, tell me about it.
So I try to tell people about school board. They look at me like I'm crazy, but is that a whole senior year, or is it just like
that'll be a semester? So I'll take that second semester, and then first semester I'll take AP economics.
Well, economics, everybody should be getting economics. I mean, that's just.
I mean, think about it. People don't even have all these tariffs going on. All their opinion on it is whatever they heard on TikTok or whatever. They don't really know what they're talking about, because they've never like understood economics and taxes and everything. So
man, TikTok is the devil, man. I mean, you can just get sucked down holes, and the next thing you know, 40 minutes of your life is gone. Well, you know what that means is when you get done with the AP government and all that, that just means you got to come back on the show.
All right, we'll come back. Yeah.
All right. With that, we're going to take our first break. You're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show. I'm with Blake Bartlam. You're listening to 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
WYAB.
Hi, it's Jackson author Jeff Pettigo, and I've written a satirical novel you should read called City Zoo, an unfairy story, a witty Orwellian animal fable about the lying fake news media. What happens is a former circus elephant runs for animal zookeeper, and all the monkeys in the zoo's fairy tale news media go crazy trying to take him out. Sounds familiar. It's the perfect pop culture satire for the beach. Learn more about the novel City Zoo at cityzoo.us. cityzoo.us.
An American home just doesn't seem complete without that flag hanging from the pole on the porch. And where do you get that flag? In Jackson, it's at a complete flag source. I-55 North. You'll find U.S. and Mississippi flags in all sizes. And yes, that new Mississippi flag is available along with international flags and all state and territorial flags. They can build your flagpole and repair that ragged old flag. It's at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
An American home just doesn't seem complete without that flag hanging from the pole on the porch. And where do you get that flag? In Jackson, it's at a complete flag source. I-55 North. You'll find U.S. and Mississippi flags in all sizes. And yes, that new Mississippi flag is available along with international flags and all state and territorial flags. They can build your flagpole and repair that ragged old flag. It's at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
Where do you stand in the pro-life community? If you're passionate about protecting the sanctity of life from fertilization to natural death, please join us at Pro-Life Mississippi as we make a difference and save lives right here in our own state. Pro-Life Mississippi is a community of individuals dedicated to equipping others to value all human life, including the preborn, those with disabilities, and the elderly. Our mission is simple: to provide unwavering support, education, and advocacy for the preborn, their families, and other vulnerable children and adults. If you're just starting your pro-life journey or you have been an advocate of life for many years, Pro-Life Mississippi needs your voice and talents to save lives in Mississippi. Together, we can make a difference in building a stronger pro-life Mississippi. Learn more about us at prolifems.org. That's prolifems.org. Be part of the community that celebrates each and every human life.
Hi, folks. Kim Wade here. Mississippi Energy Services provides generators. That's right. You may not need it now, but when you need backup power, you need a backup power generator from Mississippi Energy Services. Never again have to worry about being without heat, air conditioning, or all your frozen items spoiling because your energy was lost. You got backup power now, and it's so reliable. You'll be pleased with Mississippi Energy Services. Online at msenergy.us.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Oh, yeah. It's the dulcet tones of the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Look, if you're listening online, you listen on stream, if you just wouldn't mind liking the stream, sharing it out there, inviting some people, that'd be awesome. Blake, do you got a Twitter handle that you want to let everybody know where to follow you at?
Yeah, actually, let me pull it up real quick. I think it's at capital B and then Bartlam on X.
Yep.
And then or look up Blake Bartlam, whatever you need to do. But yeah, I'm there on X. I spend probably too much time on X.
You spend too much time on X. I think there's a lot of people out there that spend too much time on X, and that's just going to be the way it is. We go down this AI information age rabbit hole, space warp time continuum expedition. So what are the things that you're up to politically speaking? I know you've got a few irons in the fire, and I just want to let people know that there are things you can be doing even though it's not quote unquote election season.
Yeah. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been in talks with a couple people. People reached out to me, and we have now started the Mississippi chapter of the Rhino Removal Project. It's a national group, and they were looking for someone in Mississippi, and shout out Chris Hinkle recommended me to them. and they got in touch with me, and I'm now the chapter president for Mississippi, and right now we're in progress of building our team and getting a bank account and stuff ready to roll.
Wow,
So,
that's pretty incredible. Already getting the finances aligned. I'm grateful for that because,
me too.
there's a lot of people out there who run for office, and they're great people, but they don't have the
They don't got the money. Yeah.
and then they're getting smoked, and we don't want that.
Mm-mm.
Nope. So, with that project, have you got people from around the state starting to get plugged in like Southern Command, Northern Command? I don't want to
Yeah, that's I'm not going to give away too much,
Yeah.
but that's what we're in the progress of doing right now. I already have a couple people here in Central Mississippi. I'll reach out. We have a strategic partner on the coast, Colonel Maines. But I think over this next week, I'm going to probably reach out to some of my people in North Mississippi and try to get in some touch with people in the Delta and then the Tupelo area, and just really sort of get like a state team
Yeah.
ready to roll. So I have like, you're in charge of this area, what, so just be ready to roll. So
Is that going to be? And I'm not I'm just trying to like see the big vision.
Yeah.
Is this something that you're looking to have impact in this year, next year? When do you think you're really
I think
going to start?
the first election cycle, I think we're going to have at least be able to give out, official endorsements and maybe throw around a little bit of money. It's probably going to be 2026. I'll be looking at the Senate, the federal Senate race with Cindy Hyde-Smith, depending on who runs. That's one we're certainly looking into. If anyone runs against Michael Guest, and really anybody that runs for Congress in the state of Mississippi federally, because we got all 3 Republicans are rhinos, and then obviously if you're going against Benny Thompson, we need to help you out. So so Ron Eller maybe.
Yep. There's definitely going to be opportunities there. And what I try to explain to people who want to actually sit down and like try to learn the political calculus of this, if you're going to take out a Benny Thompson, it's going to be in an off-year presidential race where Trump is kicking so much tail that the political Democrat base is going to be repressed even more than it normally would be.
You saw Flowers almost did it in 2022.
Yep. And I mean, and the thing about that is he didn't even have a lot of money, and
No.
so, and everybody's like, Andy, you're always talking about the money. Well, I just have ran campaigns, and I've watched where the campaigns that had the money have won.
Right.
And I've watched where the campaigns that didn't have the money have lost. But I've also seen the campaigns that had the money and they still lost because they just were lighting it on fire.
Yeah, but his people were so good.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that stood out about the Brian Flowers campaign. I wasn't completely plugged in yet, but I was paying attention. But I know his team that he had was so good. And I'd say if you don't have a good grassroots team, you don't have a good team, you're not going. Doesn't matter how much money you have, you're not going to get it going. You're not going to figure it out because it's the people that run the ship that are going to make sure the ship gets to where it needs to go.
Yep.
So
in addition to finding new candidates and having them run, what is your plan? Are you just trying to do that on the national scale, local scale too?
No, local scale is absolutely that's sort of the main focus, but Mississippi has such a problem in both federally and locally that we're going to have to focus on both.
Yep.
But 2027 will be a huge year for that. That's going to be because everybody's up for re-election then. So 2027 is going to be a big year. We're going to have a lot of the specific ones I can give you off the top of my head that we're going to be targeting is like Senator England, whatever Delbert Husband's doing, whatever Finch is doing. The list is long, but yeah. So yeah.
And people are like, oh my gosh, this is so refreshing. Young people calling out their politicians early. I mean, that's just how the game is played.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when you have that institutional power, you almost feel like you're looking down at your constituents saying, yep, I see you, but this is where the money is and this is where I'm going.
Yep.
And we need to change that. Politics that work like that don't work well for the people in the end. We end up having problems like we're ending up having where we shouldn't be struggling to get so many of these bills through.
Right.
Not the Congress like in Washington D.C., but here in
Mississippi is like
super Republican majorities in the House and the Senate.
We can't get any school reform. We can't get any voting legislation, election fraud stuff through. Like it's ridiculous.
That's what really like motivates me because I've ran a lot of races like that. I'm not trying to run any races or do anything like that now, but man, I sure would like to teach people how that sausage is quote unquote made and get people out there involved. And because at that point it's almost you want like centralized control, decentralized execution, where everybody knows what's going on, but how it works in Hinds County might not be how it works in Rankin County.
No, ain't that the truth? I mean, there's some of those precincts in Hinds County that I don't even want to think about.
Oh,
in like South Jackson, it's like, oh wow.
I've been to a few.
Yeah.
And you know, I didn't advertise or anything, but I went in there and talking. And the thing about it is and this is gonna get some people excited, and it's gonna anger some other people, but Black males are very conservative. They're very entrepreneurial minded, and they know that they're not in a good spot as far as being politically represented. And you know, there's a real opportunity there. Not to say that they're going to necessarily be like full blown MAGA Republicans, but why not? Can they not be full blown MAGA Republicans?
Right.
There's like a culture fear to that, but at the same time, it's what they're feeling. And it's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
So why not empower them? And that's
Right.
going to be a real big opportunity in 2027.
Yeah, and I think another thing that needs to be addressed is, I don't know how many people know this, but whenever Mississippi drew their congressional lines, there is a specific portion of Northeast Jackson and Eastern Madison County that were put into District 3, which is Michael Guest's district, and bumped out of District 2, which is Benny Thompson's. I have no idea why that's the case. If you put those people back into District 2, you likely flip that seat Republican, and it falls with county lines and not just some made up line. I don't know why that's not a thing.
Do you like have links to that?
It's just look at the congressional map, and you'll notice that it's like there's this portion of Madison County and Northeast Jackson that are bumped into Guest District, and not in, but like that, you got to think there's at least 2,000, 3,000, even 5,000 people there that probably can flip that seat.
I would like to see the numbers on that. I'm not discrediting you, but you know, coming from the hellscape that is Illinois, where if you've ever seen some of those,
It's ridiculous.
Where you have like 7 congressional districts all start off in Chicago, and they just go up at different radials across the state.
Yeah.
And they take all those concentrated Democrat votes inside Chicago, and then they water it down with votes from, you know, they water down all the Republican votes. And there are more Democrats in Illinois than Republicans, but it's not like what
the map looks like.
And that's why they're losing population and all that, because those of us, we're getting the heck out of there, man. We don't want to stay in that place. It's bad for business and bad for everything else. Well, dude, I know you're not going to believe this. We are got to take our next break.
Dang.
Yeah, I know. It's moving and
Time
grooving.
flies whenever you're having fun.
Dude,
So.
And that's the thing about the radio show, man. It's always fun. Look, you're listening to Blake and Andy. We're on WYAB 103.9. We're going to take our next break. And when we get back, we're going to talk some more local politics. I hope you're enjoying it. You're listening to the Andrew Goss Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back. Andrew Goss Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
1039 WYAB.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
CBS News brief. President Trump says he won't extend his Friday tariff deadline, and CBS's Kelly O'Grady says he's taken new action.
We saw the tariff with India go to 25%, as well as an undisclosed penalty for doing business with Russia. For me, the wild card is what that means in terms of a penalty for countries like China.
Federal investigators say a military helicopter involved in the January collision with a passenger jet was flying too high. 67 died. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy.
On behalf of the entire
agency. We are so sorry for your loss.
After a powerful Pacific quake, no damaging tsunami waves as feared in Hawaii or on the West Coast. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti.
It's incredible there wasn't more damage caused. The waves that were projected never arrived in their entirety. Here in Los Angeles, we're talking measuring around half a foot. Hawaii, just under 6 feet.
CBS News Brief.
Friday mornings are special here on 103.9 WYAB. That's when we hit the pause button on the stressful issues of the day and enjoy interesting conversation and terrific music by some of the most outstanding artists in the world, all from Mississippi. I'm Jim Thorne, inviting you to join us every Friday morning at 9 for That's What's Happening's Blues and Arts Hour, made possible by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue, and presented by one-of-a-kind, locally owned Fusion Coffee House, Highland Colony Parkway, Ridgeland.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Benny Tate, president of the Congregational Methodist Church denomination in Florence, Mississippi, and the pastor of Rock Springs Church in Milner, Georgia, inviting you to attend one of our services this week. Find a church near you at cm-church.org and be sure and listen every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. for our weekly program, Apples of Gold from Rock Springs Church, here on 103.9 WYAB.
Hey, go ahead. What's on your mind? We're in a break.
Hey, it's Chris. I was just going to give a shout out to Blake and thank him for stepping up after I introduced him to Leo.
Yeah. Hey, let me put you on hold real quick. We're about to come out of break, and we'll let you.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
All right. Thanks.
Space is available now. So what are you waiting for? Call the Cotton Exchange Plaza at 601-879-3503 to find out how you can expand your business today. The Cotton Exchange Plaza.
We can talk about this during whenever we get back, but I had a history teacher who's liberal congratulate me on President Trump whenever I ran into her at Chick-fil-A the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Last year in America, 2 million legal guns were pulled, and it stopped the threat.
Did you see the GDP numbers today?
Dude, that was what I let off with 3%. I was like 1.21 gigawatts. Gee. All this negative Nancy stuff. Look, the Democrats don't have solutions. They've got slogans and sound bites.
Right.
That's all they got.
I want a T-shirt so bad that just says tariffs work.
And we are back on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. I'm here with Brother Blake, and we got a guest caller calling in. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, man, it's Chris Hinkle. I want to thank you for having Blake on. I had him on my podcast along with Leo from Rhino Removal Project. It was a great episode. You can listen to Blake, and he is definitely more mature than your average 17 or 18-year-old. And he's taking a path that we don't see in Mississippi. We've got one or two young individuals that are heavily connected with the state party GOP that seem to work within what I would call the good old boy network, where Blake is building a solid foundation of people that can actually get involved and be educated and knowledgeable in office. But I had 2 points, and I wanted to get both of your feedback on it. As you know, I've considered, maybe still considering, haven't decided what I'm going to do about running. But I see two paths. It is true that it has been since 1978 since we directly elected a senator, and that was Thad Cochran. Since then, they've been appointed, and it's no surprise. I don't think we'll be surprised to find when Roger Wicker decides to hang it up here in the next couple of years, whoever gets appointed is going to get a 2-year head start on getting inculcated in with the donor class, especially from the military industrial complex.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's someone out there that's considering running for office, there's two primary avenues that I see. One, you're likely going to have to work from outside the state coming in, especially with funding. That's what's going to be very difficult if you try to do it from within the state. But I have been able to identify some avenues of some true blue conservatives that want to support, an overall change, not just in Mississippi, but elsewhere, but they recognize helping out Mississippi. The other is if you're going to run for Senate, you need to start running at least 2 years out from when the term of office is up. Otherwise, you're going to be so far behind when that next person gets in. Because if Wicker bows out, which I think he will, a couple of years before 2030, there will be an appointment and that person will have the head start.
Right.
Secondly, the way that it works on the representative level, since the governor cannot appoint someone into that position, what typically happens is the representative in office will let the state party know, I'm thinking about, or I'm going to retire. I'm not going to finish. I'm not going to run again after my term. That gives the state party a heads up to put an infrastructure in place and identify the person that they want to put up. And that forces Mississippians to have to choose between the chosen Republican nominee that has all the infrastructure and a head start of the party over a Democrat. And it puts them in an untenable position. So if you're considering running for representative, you need to do that 2 years out. If you're going to run for 2028, start in 2026. And I wanted to put that out there. But before I get off here, thanks again, Blake, for stepping up.
Yes, sir.
I think you've got a bright future here in Mississippi. I'm so glad that I put you in touch with Leo. I think you guys make a great team, and you're going to build something great here in Mississippi.
Yes, sir. We're ready for it.
Hey, and Chris, I want to say thank you for stepping up yesterday so I could go ahead and take care of the sheep and take care of that medical thing that I had to get taken care of. So, brother, thank you so much, and looking forward to having you on again. We'll have to do a show together sometime.
All right, bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye. Great, dude. So what do you think about what Chris said? Do you think starting 2 years ahead of time for Congress is about right? And 2 years ahead?
You have to, because we notice it's a running joke is that as soon as a House of Representatives gets into office, they're already campaigning for their next election again. It's just, it's that quick of a turnaround, especially whenever you have to fight the big money of like a state party like the Mississippi GOP. You got to get started 2 years in advance. You just have to, because there's that much time, money, and funding and stuff that gets into it. You have to. You don't really have a choice.
So do you know how many Congress or counties are in Michael Guest district? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. There's 24.
Yeah, I know it's somewhere in like the 20, 30 range.
So you figure 24 counties by roughly 15 to 30 precincts. Not everything's big as Rankin, but I mean, that's a lot of, so much work. I think you need more than 2 years.
Honestly,
I really do. And I also feel, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I almost think you need to be a precinct delegate, or you have at least need to run for it so that you can understand how the so you can understand how the party sausage is made.
Right.
And it's like one of my big dreams is to have people understand how the party is made. So that just only happens once every 4 years.
Yeah, because you only get the. I remember Miss Cindy Crane, awesome lady out of Carthage, Mississippi.
Yep, she's awesome.
She was talking to me about how when they went to the state convention, it's like they had all these people that they were said, you're going to elect these people to this position. It's like, we don't know who these people are. No, we're not going to vote for them. It's like, and it's just this really sort of that thing. It only happens once every 4 years. But I just sit down and think about how are you going to get signs to every single precinct in like a House of Representative district? That's something like you think about like that alone is thousands of dollars worth of gas, the thousands of dollars worth of the signs. Like it is insane. And it's just that signs alone is something that just blows my mind, regardless of like campaigning.
Let me take that to the exponent of 2. Now you're not running for Congress, you're running for state senator or U.S. senator.
Yeah.
So now you need every state.
Right.
And that's why I would make the suggestion to those who are thinking about it, is to be a part of the party so you can start meeting these people in other parts of the state that you would have never met before.
Yeah.
Even though you would be surprised how many quote unquote real conservatives are in the party, but they just don't have the link ups and the connections.
Yeah.
And it's going to take, honestly, I think 4 to 8 years to actually build up.
That's perfect timing.
Yeah. And if you have that long-term vision, that long range goal.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you can, Palahatchee.
Yeah.
34-34, judge thrown to a coin flip.
The coin.
Another mayor lost by 8 votes.
Yeah.
Look at what happened in Brookhaven. So there's all sorts of, or Philadelphia for that matter. Look at how the Republicans did. What great work.
They did some good.
That was freaking phenomenal. It was freaking phenomenal. I'm sitting there looking at the Deedle buttons. Can I say that on there? Yeah, I think I can get away with that one.
No, but and it really is something you got to work at. And I think we do have some good people in the state party. Really like our state executive committees. So one of the better ones, like Michael Cassidy's in charge of the Lauderdale County out towards Meridian, and then there's I think one in what is his name? There's some other ones as well that are really good, and you just got to start building that network, and that's really what we're trying to do right now.
It is difficult. We tried really hard to do something in Hines, and it wasn't like a bad effort by any of us. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of perseverance. And some days you're going to get 20 people, and some days you got 3.
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh man. And you're trying to find, restaurants inside Hines County, and just not a lot of.
Lord knows how that goes.
Yeah, it was difficult, but I'm not giving up on it either.
Yeah,
and there are so many good people who I've met from the last race in 2023 that, we're exchanging emails. I'm just like, build your own party, build your own team, be the leaders. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be really great. So with what's going on with Brother Chris and you, is that something that you think is going to influence what you decide to do personally? Are you going to be more of like an outside helping people run, or do you have any dreams to be like maybe an alderman? Or I'm not going to say something like, you can see I'm always going to drive to a certain point,
right?
But is that something you're thinking about?
I have all sorts of ideas in my head and all sorts
great.
of, offices or whatever, but it's really just whatever God wants me to do. And that's sort of, I'm sure I have the dream of, being whatever we'll say lieutenant governor, just to give an office. But if God wants me to be this or that, that's what I'm going to be.
Yep. I often thought, if God just made me the garbage man, then I'm going to serve God as the garbage man
Exactly.
the best way I can.
Because his plan is better than anything I can cook up in my head, for sure.
And even when you don't understand what he's cooking, it's still going to be good.
Right. It's sort of like grandma putting in that little extra recipe. You're like, what are you doing, grandma? And then she goes, oh, that's actually pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So
she gives you that evil eye. Get out of my kitchen.
Yeah.
That's going to go up north. So we were talking about, you had a former teacher of yours come up and congratulate you on.
Yeah.
I want to get this story in.
Yeah. So because I'm in all the AP classes or whatever, it's more of a liberal sort of, because it's your education class or whatever. You have a lot more liberals than you do conservatives. But my history teacher, Miss Mercer, I'm not going to say her first name, but Miss Mercer, wonderful teacher at Northwest Rankin High School. She's awesome. A really good teacher, taught U.S. history, fantastic AP U.S. history. And, but she's more liberal, but she's willing to have a conversation about things. And I ran into her at Chick-fil-A the other day, and she was actually like, you must be feeling pretty vindicated about the tariffs and everything, because inflation report had just come out and inflation was a lot lower than expected. And she was like, you must be feeling pretty vindicated. I said, yes, ma'am. And she's just willing to have that conversation that, things are going pretty good right now, regardless of what her previous notions about Trump or his policies or whatever. So,
you know what? There's no guarantee that she'll start thinking like you or go your way. But it's just the fact that there are Democrats out there who will have honest discourse.
Yeah.
And it's really great.
And that's what it's all about.
It is. And, that's the whole divide and conquer type of thing that the political class or not even the political class, but the deep state uses against all of us, right? They'll put the blacks against the Hispanics, against the whites, against the Indians, against the Asians. And they don't care who's winning. They just want us all fighting. So while they're moving up.
I think that's part of the stuff that they're trying to do with Epstein, because the mainstream media has been driving this Epstein narrative of division, and MAGA's divided and this and that, because they want to have something to distract from all of the successes that Donald Trump has had in the last 6 months. The most secure border we've ever had in U.S. history, record tariff revenue, inflation below 3%. GDP came out this morning 3%. 3% with inflation something at like 2.5% and then 2%. If you keep driving this Epstein narrative instead of letting it play out in court like it has to, according to our Constitution, you give the mainstream media, they don't even have to create it. You give them the excuse to talk about something else other than all of the fantastic wins that President Donald J. Trump has stacked up in the last 6 months alone.
You're giving the mainstream media the oxygen it needs to try to create the fire.
Right.
You're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show with Blake Bartlam on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back. I love the medication that it gave me, because it does help with the shakes and everything. Makes you go to the restroom.
Where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
If you're a parent or grandparent, you should know that even though Mississippi is ranked as the unhealthiest state in the country, we have the highest vaccination rate for our children and grandchildren. Many of us blindly trust the medical establishment, and now it's time to question vaccine safety. Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights is a grassroots organization working to educate the public and lawmakers about this important topic. Be informed. Go to mpvr.org. Like us on Facebook to stay up to date on the latest information. That's Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights, mpvr.org.
Now's the time to get a great deal on a Kubota Z200 series mower with the new K-Ride comfort system. Designed to optimize your ride, the series delivers a quality cut and an exceptional ride. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 1.99% APR for up to 48 months. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
Are you looking for a church family to connect with? One that will provide opportunities to grow in your spiritual life, as well as a chance to serve others? First Baptist Flora may be just the place for you. We're located at 102 Jackson Street in Flora. To worship with us in person, we have a traditional worship service that begins Sunday mornings at 8:30. Then our life groups meet at 9:45, and the Refuge Contemporary service begins at 11 a.m. We also have a midweek service every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. So come join us at First Baptist Flora, where we're making much of Jesus.
Men, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Do you have low sex drive? ED, always tired, depressed, loss of muscle mass, obese, loss of focus and drive? You, my friends, need to get your numbers checked. Check out Men's Health of Mississippi, located in Madison, Mississippi, and online at menshealthms.com. Guys, get your numbers checked today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
This time tomorrow I'll be in a classroom.
Exercise, of course. So
What?
grab an apple
This time tomorrow I'll be in a classroom.
You can be telling you econ people, hey, it's on the radio, man. Second show. It's a shame you don't got like Fridays off, dude. I'd have you in a lot more.
Yeah, if I ever get a day off or if I have a day off,
Dude, let me know, man. Yeah. Let me know.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Just off exit 112 in Gluckstead.
Have you been injured
I
through no fault of your own?
I know I
Do you
have
know your
at least a year left of this, but you know, my health is just being truthful. You know, I'll be around, but I won't be able to make it up the stairs or do anything.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that I plant as many seeds, right? I planted it, Apollos watered it, but it was God that gave the growth.
Amen.
I want to plant as many seeds as I can out there. I want to give all the glory to God. And then, you know, I'll be ready to step down and it'll be all good.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. And we love you. So,
dude, I love all of you guys, man. I want to still have lunch with you guys when you're ready. And we'll do it right, man. We won't go to we'll go like Foundation Burger. We'll get those $20.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. Just put your team together, man. Let's go.
It's trying to get more young people involved, but it's just a matter of them, you know, because you have people that are interested, but it's that gap of knowledge between like really knowing what's going on and just, you know, sort of knowing what's going on. So.
Oh my. Yeah, welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9. That's some awesome bumper music right there. I don't know which listener told me to get it, but I went and got it, and it is awesome. This is the final segment with Blake Bartlam. Brother, what's on your mind? What's the last thoughts you want to get out? And
really just get out there, pay attention, get involved. If I can do it at 16 years old, I'll be 17 in a week, but 16 years old, if I can get out and do it, you can get out and do it, because my age is really irrelevant because anybody can do it. So just get out there, get involved. If you want to get in touch with the Rhino Removal Project here in Mississippi, go to rhinoremovalproject.org/ms, or you can email me at blake@rhinoremovalproject.org. That is my Gmail. So just get in touch with me if you want to help us out here in the state so we can create a better and more conservative Mississippi for all of us.
Dude, that's awesome, man. You want to know what? We need more people like you out there. We need more people out there who are just concerned about their own local government, let alone, the state or the federal, because that's just. But the more that we have these types of shows on, when we got people like you on who can show people that, hey, it's not that difficult. And to my blue collar, hard hat wearing crew out there who listens to me every day, God bless you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for all that you do for this show. I don't take any of that for granted. But I would be remiss if I didn't wish my Peanut, my granddaughter, a happy birthday. She's 2 today.
Happy birthday to her.
And it's awesome. Pappy loves you. And Pappy's going to see you soon. And we're going to have a great time. And I wanted to make sure I got that in there. And dude, it's just one of those things. It's, you get these platforms, you can honor, you get to honor God, you get to recognize your parents. I get to recognize the Sweet Bee and all the awesome stuff she did. I mean, yesterday when we were trucking sheep onto the truck to get ready to go to the slaughterhouse, I mean, she was putting it down with the best of them. And so was my daughter. She was doing a great job too. And brother Mike, who helped out with that, grateful and thankful. You got to have friends. Right. And I was able to drive it down and then get to the docks. But it was one of those things where, man, when you got people like that and you're like, and they're strong, like everybody's like, oh, I don't want to be out there. Sweet Bee and Toots, man, they'll get out there in the dirt and the mud and everything else, and they have absolutely no problem of telling you where to go and what to do. It's a pretty cool thing. We got to get you out to the farm too, man.
I love it. I love it out there.
Senior year, are you ready?
I reckon. Ready to be done, really.
You don't have like trapper keepers or anything like that anymore. You got pens and
I just got my backpack.
Just a backpack.
And the MacBook they give us. So
any sports?
I play lacrosse and do a little bit of golf. But yeah, we're ready to roll.
Man, that lacrosse and golf sounds fun. I loved golfing back in the day. I was a horrible golfer, but I loved playing it.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude, I really appreciate you coming in,
you.
man. And look, we're gonna have to do this again.
Absolutely.
You're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We're streaming on Rumble, streaming on X, streaming on YouTube, that Facebook platform that begins with the F, but we don't like it. Please like and subscribe. Take care, everybody. Be blessed.
Be blessed. Read your Bible.
That's right.
Well, man, thank you so much.